Hello beauties, tomorrow is the full moon eclipse in Leo, and also hello to everyone else watching this because I am posting this on my public YouTube channel. I don't often talk about my mentorship program, but every now and then when something that I think everyone can jump in on happens, I like to open it up to the general public. So this is a video actually for my Goddess Glow mentorship group, but I think it would be good if everyone did it, if so inclined. So it is a ritual for tomorrow's lunar eclipse and full moon. And it's extremely simple because the energies of this full moon, apparently, according to what I have read, this is ending a cycle that started last September and beginning a cycle that will end this August. And this week has probably been pretty tumultuous for you in one way or another. I actually find that for me, I did a lot of work with land spirits this week, and I find that for me it was tighter last week, but this week, since I'm actually doing something and not just doing recon on what's going on, it's really intense pressure, but it's also being alleviated through the work. So so it's easier, but that kind of is the way things tend to be with me anyways. So back to the lunar eclipse. Basically, things are up this week, and you're going to be able to see what is leaving your life. I mean, this feels to me like a time that everything is getting put into stark relief, and you're getting to see what you should put in what area of your life. And you might be learning that maybe you wanted things you didn't want before, or you might be realizing that things that fit you perfectly before are now just out of alignment. And in my experience, this is not something that's right on the surface. This is something that's slightly underneath the surface. So for instance, the land work that I'm doing with like the unrest in the land from the battles between Native Americans and settlers. And there are like, I've been traveling to some places in the Carolinas that still hold a lot of that really gnarly energy because no one's really been there. Like, people have walked over it, but not long enough to transmute that emotion. And a lot of times they died feeling emotions like fear, anger, betrayal, horror. And so that's kind of in land's transmuting it over time, but it's also handy to go and help if you feel so called in whatever way you feel so called. So I've been doing some of that. And what I find is the things that I'm finding there, the themes that I'm seeing come up as I work with these energies, are mirroring, but it's a couple steps away, what I'm then wanting to manifest in my life. So for instance, you know, there's a lot of the energy of a paradigm that we didn't believe in, that we thought was wrong, came and took over and killed us and deleted us, and now it's thriving, right? And so me, as a child of that paradigm, that one that's now thriving on that, standing on the shoulders of that trauma and sadness and pain, wounding, to the collective consciousness, I both, since I've been raised in that paradigm, I can see the value of it, but I can also feel what they're saying, and it's coming in places in my life, like the video I just posted a few days ago about how to stay spiritually connected, or how to become more spiritually connected. Those things are coming in stark relief for me because I'm also transmuting the energy of those people who lived much more at the land and who are now kind of stuck and need to be reintegrated into human collective unconsciousness. And that's part of what I'm working on. And there are a lot of people on this planet doing this work, or similar work, or complementary work, you know. And I don't claim to do anything instead of anything else. What I do is all in addition to, because I get called. So speaking of tomorrow, things that are ridding themselves out of your life, look deeper. Look at what, if there are physical things that you're graduating from, look deeper at what they mean, at what they might mean in the way you manifest your world, in the way that you live your life. And remember that whatever's going on that bugs you outside is mirroring something within that probably needs to be healed, you know, it probably needs to be loved in yourself and given what it needs. So it's a great time, especially when stuff's leaving your life, because usually things get very clear then, you know, you are clear about what you do and don't want. So tomorrow, the ritual, and you can look at calendars to see what time the actual lunar eclipse is for you. I believe that where I am, which is on the East Coast, and this might not be right, but I think this is what's happening. The actual lunar eclipse happens for me around 7:30 p.m. So that means the west coast of the U.S. would be 4:30 p.m. and you can work around And so all you need is maybe a candle or two. If you have any kind of purification or cleansing that you do, like rituals that you do, like for instance burning sage, things like that, have that around to start off with. This is going to be a quick one. And then a couple pieces of paper and a pen and some kind of vessel. It can just be like, this is a pretty thick glass container, and it can be like that. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be out of any fancy material. It can just be made out of glass or metal, because it's not going to get very hot. You just want it to be fire resistant. So you want to have 2 pieces of paper and your purification, your candles, and your container, and a pen or pencil. So come to your sacred space, light the candle to denote it as a time of sacred space, burn your purification, whatever you do, to denote it as a space of sacred space. And then on the first piece of paper, think about everything that's been going on in your life. Think about everything you're letting go of, and not only for you, but this is why it's important to also look at what's triggering you in the world, because I would love for us all, this is why I'm publishing this to my public YouTube channel as well as giving it to my goddesses, I would love it if we could all write down things that we want to go from the world. Things like bitterness, the feeling of disempowerment and victimhood, vindictiveness. And it's interesting, but I picked my 2017 word completely unaware, like, not thinking consciously about political situations around. And the word I picked for 2017 was triumph. And that's a lot like a certain person's name that a lot of people have a lot of emotions about, good and bad. But it seems like even the people who feel really good about it are still not really feeling awesome in their bodies right now. Like, there's still shit going on in the world that people are feeling like they need to fight against or protect themselves from, or whatever that energy is just there, right? Okay. On all sides, pretty much. And so if and when you want to be a part of this, you can. Whenever you hear that name or think about it or see a picture or see some kind of political headline, if you want to just do a little pop of energy work that we can all be doing all over the nation, all over the world, because I know you guys watch this worldwide, is think of triumph. The energy of triumph. Get it in your body. And not the kind of triumph you need by beating someone else. The kind of triumph you need that you generate when you make it to the top of the mountain. You're not competing against anyone. It's not about who else is climbing the mountain. That internal triumph. And that means no matter which ideology you follow. I know that people watch this video that are on all sides, and I respect all of your divine paths. No judgment. I don't know how this all stuff is supposed to work in this world, so anyways, think of just the energy of pure, clean, divinely aligned triumph. Let it suffuse you, let it go out from you. Just in a pulse every time you're reminded by the name of the president or the picture of him or a headline about him or whatever. Triumph. Flip it to triumph. And just run the feelings. Don't try to get too specific about the how, because I don't think anyone really knows the how of the best resolution for this. We're all still in our pain bodies a little bit about it. And I honor that process, but I also would like to move to the next thing if I'm creating my reality too, and this is part of how I do it, so I'd love you guys to help with that. Okay, so on the first piece of paper, write down what you want to get rid of, what you want to shed for yourself, what you want to shed for the world. The energies that are whatever, not jiving with you, that seem constrained, or that seem unhealthy, or that seem just unhealthy. Let's just say that, as if it's an organism, without saying good or bad, right or wrong. Things that feel itchy and ouchy, and find the real deep energy of it, put that on the paper. And the things from your own personal life that you're letting go of. As this moon is like a reset button. And I mean a reset button. Pow. And burn it. You can coil it up in a little coil if you want. You can fold it up if you want. You can just hold it if you want. And just take a lighter, whatever you just use to light your candles, light that thing on fire, and then as it burns, just drop it in the glass. And then once it's done burning later, you can, make sure you rinse it with water or whatever, make sure it's really, really out, and then throw it away or flush it or whatever. When it's just little ashes, it doesn't matter. In fact, let's say flush it just to keep everyone's wastebaskets burn free. Okay. And then on the next piece of paper, write down what you want to bring in. Because that's the nice thing about shedding stuff out of our lives, is that we're usually shown what we want instead. Maybe stuff we didn't even know until we realized what we didn't like. Or maybe that we knew but we hadn't specifically asked for, you know. Like one of the things that I wanted, but I was putting it really far ahead in my future, but it's one of the things I'm going to write on the list, is I would love for my next home, and I'm not in a rush about it. I love traveling around, although it has its challenges, but I'm not shoving at this. I'm just requesting it because I want it. It's my authentic truth. Is the next time I snuggle into a home, that it be like new paradigm, eco-friendly, green architecture, preferably off-grid. Oh, that would be amazing. And who knows how that's going to come. There, of course, synchronicities are going to take me where they're going to take me. It might take me a while to manifest it. And if it doesn't, I always say this or better. So if it doesn't happen, whatevs, you know, I will eventually make that happen. But that's what I'm requesting. That's my deepest love. So if the divine takes me a different way, I trust it. But it might not. It might take me to exactly what I want. So why not? And so after you write this one, don't burn it. Just put it away somewhere. Store it somewhere. And maybe we'll bring it out again. Maybe every full moon, take a look at it, see if you want to shift anything. Maybe from now till the cycle ends in August. Yeah. So let me know what you guys are going to do in the group. And you guys can share it on the public YouTube channel too if you want. Why not? And this is the thing. If we manifest our world, let's fucking do it. You know? Like, I understand needing to point out when things are wrong. But if we believe that these things, like the in common tongue is called like law of attraction or manifestation, but these are ancient principles we've been using since the beginning. It's how we even got here. Synchronicity is the technology of the new paradigm of the golden age, you guys. And I'm into it, and it works. So, tomorrow, Friday, February 10th, 2017. Jump on if you like. You're invited. And if you want to know more about my Goddess Glow Mentorship group, you can go to my website. And you ladies in the Goddess Glow group, I can't wait to see what we do together. And sending you guys lots and lots and lots of love. And yeah, let's do it. Let's unify. In this very simple, high vibe, non-threatening way, you know? Yeah, sending love. Mwah. Bye.